Greetings. I just finished the follow-up webinar of APPO DEEPO BHAVA. This was the second follow-up session, very deep and intense. So we end that APPO DEEPO BHAVA. So in the course, it will have the main webinar and 2 follow-up sessions, very deep. But while I just finished it, I was just looking at Facebook, and somebody put some quote or something, and it simply said, "Do not feel guilty for those who could not grow with you," something like that. And then, yes, this has nothing got to do with APPO DEEPO BHAVA, but I'm just saying I wanted to add on into this because it's such deep in our daily lives. We can see as we evolve on this platform. I just thought about my own life also. 25 years back, how many people have I lost lost on this journey? Because the moment I set foot, there were many people with me from childhood, teenage, and early adulthood till now. So many people were together, but after some time, the paths deviate, the journeys deviate. I'm just not talking only about spiritual people, even the non spiritual or unawakened or whatever you call them. Automatically, I've seen these splits happening, and there are times when I felt guilty. Like when I looked at somebody whom I was very familiar with in my old days, let's say 20 years back, and then suddenly when they deviate and when we are no longer together, there is a kind of guilt that comes. Oh, because as you are spiritually inclined, you will have this deep missing of that part, or so old relationship or things like that, it's just gone. And sometimes we wish very deeply from within that how we wish they also evolve. Because why we feel this is for two things. One, that we want them also to genuinely experience what we experience. We want them to be together on the journey so that we can be evolving together. Second is, even I benefit from that. It's like I'm able to contribute even my existence towards a larger cause. And so we see the same things together. And in that, what happens? Even the journey becomes better, because when people understand your journey and when the compatibility is there, life is so beautiful. So that is where this feeling comes. I wish even they understood the same things. And it can also bring guilt of self evolution. Subconsciously, you might feel somewhere from within, I should have not gone so fast. Do you get that feeling sometimes? I shouldn't have gone so fast. I should have waited. Or sometimes we even feel, let me slow down. I'm going too fast. These are all catches of the mind, very untrue, the ignorant part of the mind that plays all these games. So I thought I'll make this video and say it's okay not to feel guilty for everyone not moving in alignment with you. It's okay even if you feel you have outgrown them. It might be egoistic feeling, oh, I've become very spiritual than them, gone beyond them. Sometimes, in the name of humility, we might pull ourselves down and say, no, I'm not gone there. Or I can wait for them. Never do that. We cannot wait for anybody. For the first reason that we cannot change anybody. Because if people had to change, they would have just changed. Waiting will not do any good in any ways. We must learn that this is a beautiful journey of detachment. People will walk in and walk out of your life. Always this is going to happen. There's nothing called permanence here. So that ignorant part has to be shelved out. Allow whoever comes to come, because that's your alignment. They reciprocate, they validate, they are essential for both the existence, and they are meant to be. And those who move away on their own, or circumstances, or your decisions, sometimes you have to also say goodbye. And that's okay. If you are working from that inner light, your consciousness will be comfortable with it. If you are working with the ego mind, then you might not feel comfortable or be guilty with it. It all depends on from where are you functioning. If you're functioning from the mind, you might feel guilty. So in case you feel guilty, you can correct it by going into your awareness and do whatever corrective action you need to take. If you think it's come from ego, then you can definitely go and do whatever best you can to relook into things. But if you think it has come from your integrity and authenticity, you continue with that, then there will be no guilt. So I thought I'll add this video also. There will be people moving in and out of your life, and it's okay. Because today in APPO DEEPO BHAVA we experienced how from nothingness everything evolves. That is Shakti. And then it all goes back, including this body. Come out from there, it goes back. Goes back where? That's Shiva. Father. Comes out. Mother creates it. Who am I? I'm in between, the child, Skanda. So from this point I'm aware of my mother creating. From this point I'm aware of the Chidakasha from where the mother creates. Skanda is important. Without Skanda, even Shiva doesn't know he's Shiva. How deep it is. This is one step deeper. Skanda is one step deeper into understanding Shiva himself. The Guru Tattva. Skanda is Guru Tattva, this center point, which sees both sides, which is needed for even you knowing that Shiva exists in the mother. There is consciousness in the matter. If this body has a presence, this is matter. This is the creation of Mother Shakti. That's what we did today. Full devotion to the creation of Mother. But who's the one who is becoming aware of the presence? There is a presence. I am not this body. I am living in the body created by the mother. Who am I? I am the presence. But then who is becoming aware of the presence? Who knows that it is living in the body? It is not the body. Who's that? Skanda. Shiva is also not aware of himself until the sun, Skanda, is there. So when I become aware of that nothingness, it is Shiva becoming aware through awareness. It's very deep. I'm so glad because this was unintentional. It was just a follow-up session and it came. Anyhow, again, I think I linked both these subjects. Perhaps that's meant to be. This word meant to be. There are a lot of misconceptions about this meant to be. I've seen people who talk about perhaps that's meant to be. But I've seen them taking decisions. Sometimes life just happens spontaneously and the Tarkasura gives Tarka. That's what we learned today. Tarka. It logically analyzes things. It takes its decisions. And then it claims that is meant to be. How rubbish. Skanda should be activated to see the Tarkasura playing itself as Skanda. That's the biggest disappointment. You have to be very careful about this. That is when the ego actually takes over and it pretends or it feels that it is awareness. It is not. Because the pretender also should be caught. That is awareness. So when I feel it is meant to be. Meant to be means anything that happens in my life spontaneously is meant to be. So if something is happening in my atmosphere, something has walked into my life, meant to be. But it's not that something walks into my life and I put it away, I decide, and then I say, perhaps that's what meant to be. Silly. That's very silly. That's the manipulative mind that's doing it. Anyway, that also I link to this. I remembered that meant to be. Meant to be is what we practice today. Keep practicing this. APPO DEEPO BHAVA. And the inner satsang will begin. Outside, what you do, Shravana Manana, Chintana, Nididhyasana, that begins from inside. I explained this very clearly. If you are having good Shravana, listening very carefully without the Tarkasura doing any Tarka, by grace this happens. If grace is there on you, you will be attentive and fully contemplative. That is Manana. Shravana Manana is happening, there is churning going on inside. Then when you stop the satsang, go outside and continue the same practice by remembering it. How will you remember? Until you have done deep Manana Shravana, you cannot remember it. So if you are sincere there, out of the practice, it will come out. That which comes out again from within is the inner satsang that's happening. So what's happening? Outer satsang is leading you to inner satsang. This should deepen again and again. Continue doing these practices of follow-up and the webinars. You'll get there. What I'm trying to tell you'll get there. And this will get activated, inner satsang. Then that inner satsang only, there is an inner voice. But that sharpness of Shravana and Manana, sincerity, your intention has been pure, if your dedication and your priority has been this, you will be blessed by it. If you have had hundreds of other priorities and excuses, you will be blessed by that. Wherever you put your attention on. I told, this is how the law of karma works. If you are meant to be means, it will just come, it will happen effortlessly. If it is not meant to be, there will be lot of tark, excuses. Prarabdha creates Tarkasura, and it keeps you away from grace. It will give you this logic, that logic, some or the other. Excuses, this, that. Even webinars and this I've seen. So some were there in the webinar, not in the follow. So I said no recordings. That came very spontaneous to me. Because if you are really, these are serious tattvas, you need to be live here on that. And you need to have that commitment. So if it is just like a casual, it's okay. And I always say, the follow-up sessions of all webinars are complimentary. You might join if you like or not. It's not mandatory. And webinars, it's because you are committed. But follow-ups are according to you. If you say, I want to deepen this, then you sit. But if you want to deepen it, then there are protocols, strict protocols. Timing, commitments, and things like that. Many are there, you know that. Why this is? Because until the inner is activated, the outer has to function properly, because the mind is so cunning, it will keep playing games. So there has to be a light that is doing its dharma to its fullest. Then there will be outcomes. Okay? Anyways, today what I was trying to say is about the outcomes of in and out. Things happen. It's okay. Like Ramana says, whoever comes, let them come. Whoever goes, let them go. Become aware of what remains. That's what we learned today also. The universe comes, the body comes, remains, it goes. It comes, I see it. It remains, I see it. What is that comes? Brahma, Tattva. It comes, I see it. It remains, Vishnu Tattva. It goes, Shiva Tattva. In all these three states, I'm okay with it. Because I remain, the skanda remains. So in this state, the skanda remains. I am that pure awareness that never dies. So my whole shift has happened, shifting into awareness has happened, and I have imbibed that. It has stabilized. The moment it's stabilized, that's called self-realization. When it stabilizes, it cannot be shaken. You realize that I am pure awareness. You realize the quality of the self. That is self-realization. For that, you need effort. Effort comes by your own grace. Your own grace means Your past efforts only creates grace. Your intensity, your intention, your purity, your intensity creates grace. And that grace makes you do effort. It gives you inspiration, it gives you motivation. No grace means the opposite of that, disgrace. It gives you demotivation, it gives you excuses, it keeps you away from the path, it wanders. So all this equation, who sees? Skanda sees. This awareness knows everything. It is aware of all these things. It understands the secrets very easily. This message I felt I should give. Much divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed.